Hey everyone, welcome to the bi-weekly SIG release engineering sub-project meeting. Today is April 26th. Um, we have dropped the agenda into chat, so if you would like to add yourself as an attendee, please do so. Drop it again just real quickly, just to see if anybody missed it. And with that, we will kick it off with just a welcome to anybody that's new. If you have never been to one of these meetings or you have and you haven't said hello, I'd like to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself, or if it's been a while, Taylor maybe wants to say hi. Open the floor up and folks can introduce themselves. I think most people here are pretty familiar though, so can move on from that. Just as a quick update, we have a pretty light agenda today, so we may just end up looking at the boards. And if Jim or anybody else wants to give updates for release managers, because I think we're a little light on attendance on that side, that'd be pretty awesome. Otherwise, if you have anything you'd like to add to the agenda, feel free. We have an open discussion section at the end of the block for today. Definitely feel free to add any topics that you want, ad hoc things that you want to bring up there. But otherwise, we can go into release manager updates. If Jim, do you feel like giving one of those? Do you have any updates to give?
Yeah, definitely. So there's a few things up in the air right now. I believe there's some CNI issues that are being debugged or resolved in one of the release management channels, but we've determined that it's not blocking the release candidate one cut. And so I've already kicked off some of the staging efforts to cut the release candidate one here. But the plan is to resolve these blockers prior to, I would imagine, cutting release candidate two. So we're still on track, kick that off today. Some minor issues. I think we're still relatively green for the overall release. Some other folks may disagree, but I feel pretty good.
All right, cool. I think the release team is going to have some no-go to go decisions pretty soon. Is the thing that you don't think is blocking RC1 the topic that was in the SIG release channel? Let me grab a link to it.
Yes, I believe so. With the CNI issues.
Yeah, CNI plugin versions.
Yep, exactly.
Grab a link and we'll add it to the agenda for context. Any other issues or things to be aware of on that side?
Not that I'm aware of, but we'll keep you all apprised if I hear anything.
Okay, I see Dims has turned his camera on. Would you like to take the floor?
Hey, hi, Jeremy. So there was one more thing which we were trying to land, C advisor 0.441.1. Last night, we ended up deciding that we won't try to force it in. Well, we merged it into master, but we haven't cherry picked into the release branch. And we kind of said that it's okay to get a RC1 without that cherry pick. So we'll have to do the cherry pick later before we ship.
Okay.
So the only other thing that I know of. And I did have a question, Jim, about the CNI one. Is there an issue log that is marked as release blocker? Because I don't see one.
I just came into that this morning, so I don't think so. I didn't see one either, but I don't know for a fact.
Yeah. So, and my response to that in that thread was, hey, let's take it to SIG node and SIG network and let them decide if it is a blocker or not, right? This is coming from someone else that I didn't really recognize, Rolf, I guess. So let's take to the people who have to make the decision and leave it up to them.
So for right now, who's driving that, taking it to them for the decision?
James.
Okay, all right, just making sure there's ownership there.
Yeah, he's the release lead. So I told him, please take it. So I'm hoping that he will.
Cool.
Thanks.
Ray, you've turned your camera on. Would you like to go to?
Yeah, we just had a discussion about this on the Docker shim call. We have a Docker shim call right before this. And so there's a work in progress documentation changes that is needed or that will be created about this issue. I'll put those in Slack channel when they're up.
Cool, thanks. I see in the chat, Tim says that if there's an issue logged, blocker or no blocker about the CNI issue, he'd like to be copied on the issue. So if anybody is going to fire one up, please add Tim as a CC, please. All right. Any other updates on that angle? All right. Anything that we'd like to discuss in open discussion? Any other topics before we kind of walk through any of the boards? All right. Hearing none, let me bring up the release engineering board. Share my screen. All right. So starting from the kind of the right-hand side of this board, probably worthwhile going through these things that are in review and in blocked. Let's start with the in review, the image promotion and distribution policy. This is related to the work happening for the Docker cache, or the caching of images, or sorry, pushing images to multiple registries, so we can work on some of the costs associated with hosting those artifacts. DIMS or anybody else from SIG Kate's Infra, do you have any context on what might be outstanding on this?
Yes. So I think there were a couple of things that we talked about. There was like a mega thread, 400, 500 deep, I guess.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. And like you can't read back through that scroll. It's insane. But a couple of things that came out of that was there is a ordering problem where when we have to push the signatures are not present yet. So one of the suggestions in that thread was, hey, right now we are pushing to Asia and then doing the signatures, and then from Asia we are pushing it to the EU and the US. So instead of that, can we have a staging registry that we would use so that in the staging registries, the signatures will be available, and then it can be copied over to all the places that it needs to be copied to. I believe Porco was, came up with this idea, and we have to like write up this idea in the SCEP. Or I think there is one more. Yeah, this is the CAP. Yeah, the hippie hacker is doing this, right? Yeah. So we need to like write it down, and that will be the work that will need to be done for 125 by the RELENG team, or at least help with it. On a side note, Jay is trying to write the code for copying images. So that portion will be already done. What will be needed to be done by this team here is like a request for a staging repository, and then change the tooling to push it there first, and then do the signatures there, so it is ready to be copied over everywhere else. Did I confuse anyone?
So far, so good.
Okay, good, awesome. So yeah, so we have to write it into the doc, and then we have to do the actions in 125. That's basically what we need to do. Rian, does that sound right?
That sounds right. Then extra from Jay's side, he and Caleb is busy setting up the bucket, but it is quite complicated to get it running and get all the permissions right. So that would probably pair again once or twice this week and try and roll that out. Then I think I saw Tim on the call. Tim Bannister offered to have a look on the security. So Caleb reached out to have a call to discuss it, what we have so far and get some early input, and then continually iterate as they develop to make sure that we have the right things in place for security. So thanks for that.
I've not taken a look yet.
Eddie, you raised your hand.
Yes, y'all can hear me, right?
Yep.
Also, and so we have those solutions architects from AWS. Are we leveraging them for that as well?
Yeah, Jay is talking to the actual team that is responsible for security in AWS too. So it's not just a solutions architect. So it's gone beyond the solution architect at this point, Eddie.
Gotcha. And so I'm super glad Tim wants to help as well with that, and that's awesome. But any other resources we need from them, we can get. So if we need a security solutions architect, we can get that too. We cannot be afraid to ask for more there. Absolutely.
Jay is driving that, and he's already in touch with the security folks who write that piece of code on the API itself that Jay is trying to invoke.
Awesome.
At the moment, EP and Caleb is revisiting the KEP to try and write it up, so then they'll probably reach out somewhere in the week or show a PR or an update to where we are with the KEP. And then the project board, if anybody want to have a look at where we are, you're going to go have a look at the project board. I'll find the link and drop that. And we move the things across the board as we go along. A good thing to look at is with the PRs that's merged and things that are done. There's still a lot to be done, but there was already a lot of real good work done by the folks.
Awesome. Any other discussion on this particular item? All right. We've got two that have been sitting blocked or inactive for a little bit. Let's look at this one first. Unfortunately, Sasha is not here. Most recent activity on this one is from some time ago. Okay, it's frozen, so we'll just leave it for now. Another pretty old one. Let's clear the status off for a second. And we'll follow up with Stephen, see if anything needs to happen on this one. All right. Anybody working on anything that's in progress that you'd like to bring up or have questions on?
I think one thing, Jeremy and team, that I had questions on was really kind of curious to get more insight around some of the SBOMs and, just from a personal standpoint, learning about SBOMs and some of the other supply chain and signing things. Is there a good jumping off point to take a look at either in the repo or just anywhere else in general that y'all have found? Maybe some of our chain guard friends might be able to provide some context as well.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of resources you could probably start with. There's definitely a KEP that's describing what's happening, and the implementation that's going along with that would probably be a good place to look. I think there's two areas. One is the SBOM stuff and how that's being generated, and that's largely being done by the BOM tool that's in Kubernetes SIGs. You can spell. So this is the tool / library that we're using to generate the SBOMs. It's a work in progress, but it's being used currently. There are some issues in here if anybody's looking for fun stuff to do. And then in terms of the signing stuff, see if we can find the signing issue. So this is like the kind of, the enhancement tracking issue. And
Cool.
Inside of here, you'll be able to find links to the various KEPs that have been happening, and also obviously the some of the work in progress stuff. The docs, I think, are done for this, and it's large. It's going to land in 124. So we've already started signing the artifacts as part of the promotion process, and the docs should go live as part of the release.
Awesome. Thank you. I'll take a look at this.
Yeah,
you're the bomb. Thanks.
All right. Anything else? Otherwise, we can call it a day a little bit early and give folks back some time. Definitely, we will track down the possible release blocking, possibly not release blocking thing, follow up with James in the SIG release Slack, and make sure we run that to ground today before the day gets on too much. Any questions or last minute topics that anyone would like to add to the agenda for today? Oh, wait, there's some things in chat. Let's see what they say. Oh, thank you so much, Ray, for adding the direct link to the KEP. Super useful. Joseph, if you could add that to the docs, that'd be super useful too for folks that are watching the recording.
I just did.
Awesome, thank you so much. And I guess like one more go back to your point, Taylor. The last piece of that KEP is kind of like the overarching thing is getting to SALSA level 3 compliance, which is this one right here. So there's pieces of all of this process that are going towards moving the release process along to eventually hitting level 3 in the SALSA framework.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited. I love SALSA and just and this general.
I like SALSA too.
I like Dan's levels of SALSA too, but that's another conversation for another time. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. I hope everybody has a. Oh yeah, Joseph added a Open SSF Day is happening at KubeCon Valencia. I wish I was going because I think that would be a super cool thing to be a part of too. Anybody that's going, let me know how it is. I'll have FOMO for missing it out. All right. Well, with that, have a great rest of your day, however much of that is left, or if it's just starting, if it's finishing, whatever it may be. Thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday or Wednesday.
Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.